Right, emergency update with dollar tanking, equities and commodities flying. Question is, has the Fed pivot already now been priced into the dollar, or where is dollar actually going next? It has been a tough day for dollar bulls, myself included. I'm going to cover positions that I was in, how I managed them pre-event, and more importantly, what is happening with the crypto market. Is FTX going to get bailed out from a broker that used to be supposedly one of the best brokers out there? I personally use them. I'm going to cover what is happening with them. Is Justin Sun going to come to the rescue? Or is this the end? Is this the end? What is going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to the channel. What a week. What a month. And we're only 10 days in. Dollar absolutely tanking on inflation missing expectations. With today's inflation coming in at 7.7%, we already have the swaps market pricing in the Fed funds rate target at 4.75%. So in layman's terms, what does this mean? The Federal Reserve interest rate is set at 4% already. If the market is pricing in that they're going to pause at 4.75, that possibly means they just have 0.75% or 75 basis points left of hikes to go. That was less than the 5% that was expected. Hence, the capitulation in the dollar, also known as the melt up in risk. So you got the Dow, you got the S&P, you got the Nasdaq, extremely bullish. You got your majors, Euro, Aussie, Cable, all rallying. This was simply off the back of the market pricing in a possible pause for the Fed a lot sooner than expected. A lot of people, myself included, I still expected a firm inflation print today. However, this morning on my live London session with my traders, I did discuss the 3 scenarios or possible outcomes for this event. Whenever trading an event, you want to split your categories into 3. Anything lower than expectations, in line with expectations, or super more aggressive over expectations. 3 scenarios could have been higher than expected inflation. You would have had dollar back at 113, equities and commodities through the floor. Expectation number 2, coming in line with expectation, no real market movement, but still a firm dollar because you have persistent inflation. Scenario number 3, expectation number 3, what we had today, lower inflation, showing us that the market is concerned, showing us that people are no longer spending like they used to. Growth is shrinking. You have several Fed members like Harker already announcing that the Fed pause may be imminent. Now, according to Fed Chair Jerome Powell's last statement, he reiterated that there is no sight for a pivot. However, the Fed may get to a place and pause. The fact that the market's now pricing in and that pause is a lot sooner, that is the reason why the dollar has tanked. So without further ado, let's jump on the charts. Let's cover where everything is, and then we'll jump into crypto. Right, as we know, dollar, the forefront of my analysis every single day. Now, for me, I'm not going to lie, I'll be completely transparent. I was a dollar bull. I partially still am because I feel, yes, one misprint in inflation is enough to reprice the market, but is it over yet? Is it over yet? So, all dependent on whether or not China reopen, all dependent on should we have an uptick in the unemployment rate, which we already have. We already have average hourly earnings lower. We already have the weekly jobless claims higher. So that means there is more concern there. So the market is fully believing that what the Fed have done is enough. Now, whether we're believing it or not is another story. So we had a nice little rally on the dollar this morning, back to 111, which did provide us with some short-in opportunities on the euro. So for myself, I was in a euro short. I managed to lock in some beautiful gains on the euro simply because price came to my target. Simply because price hit my target. Now, I mentioned to my traders this morning on my live calls that whenever you see some money on the board ahead of an event, lock in those gains. Take some money off the table because as we've seen, anything can happen. If you prepare yourself for the 3 scenarios, your best bet and your most likely scenario is simply to place your trades ahead of the event, manage your risk. Should the market then come in line? Fine. If it doesn't, you've managed your risk. Now for me, I managed to take 50% off on the euro, and the rest obviously got hit out break even. Now looking at the likes of gold, 1750, massive rally. Silver, same thing. Oil, bit of a relief recovery on oil. We do know this initial slide on oil was simply because of the build in inventories in the US. So that was yesterday, massive little meltdown on oil. Now, do I expect oil to pretty much bounce from where it is? Maybe not. Possibly back to, I would say, $88.50, $90 a barrel max before another rollover to the downside. Now, how we need to trade this scenario is just be very careful and just know that this move on dollar is probably finished, in my opinion. So what that means is you shouldn't, after watching this video, try and sell the dollar. That's not real trading. Dollar is low, dollar's extended. That's not a strategy, right? So for me, I'm positioning myself in some sort of caution because I was a dollar bull, right? Along with a lot of other people expecting inflation to continue to persist. So for me right now, I'm more than likely going to trade the scenario of will dollar get back to 109.50 and how can I take advantage of that? That does not mean I'm going to go buy a dollar right now, but that does simply mean that I'm going to wait for the likes of the euro to pull back. I'm going to wait for the likes of cable to pull back. Cable has had its most strongest rally in, I think, several months, simply because it's done almost 3% today. You got the market expecting a hike from the Bank of England, and then you also have the weak dollar that we saw today. So double whammy for cable to the upside. So cable back above the highs, trading at 117. Do I agree with this? Maybe not. Maybe not, because I simply just feel that for Fed Chair Jerome Powell to be so hawkish at the last event, that can't just change so quickly. So a bit unfortunate if you're a dollar bull, but as I do always say, it is imperative that you have to manage your risk. Honestly, remind yourself of the 3 outcomes of any event, and that'll help you manage your expectations and your positions around those events. So that's pretty much dollar. Just to sum that up for everyone, we had a misprint in inflation, right? The Fed's funds rate is now expected at 4.75 according to the swaps market. And that is showing us that the Fed might pause at 4.75. So 75 basis points or 0.75 away from where we are right now. So that's pretty much dollar. Unfortunate if you're a dollar bull, but it's something that you can't cry over spilled milk. You've got to manage your positions and just go from there and build from there. Right, crypto. What the hell happened? FTX. Everyone trusted FTX, so did I. Yeah, shit happens. This is evidence that shit can happen. Shit can hit the fan. Don't ever have your eggs in one basket. Not endorsed, but get yourself one of these. Get your assets off of an exchange because you can't trust it, right? You can't. And for me, it was simply a case of an eye-opener. You know, I had so much faith in FTX and I used them for a lot of purchases, right? Obviously to take them off to cold storage. However, that's not the point. The point being is anything can happen in this game. It is the simple fact that we had Binance CEO CZ having to go at FTX's CEO SBF, right? And was he involved in illegitimate business? Was he using client funds to trade in Alameda Research, his private hedge fund? Maybe, and that is illegal. It was supposedly around 8 billion that was used of client funds from FTX in Alameda Research to trade with, which caused the whole stir in FTX and FTT tokens. So let's jump into that. Let's jump through this recent relief rally that we've had. This was off the back of Justin Sun, Tron CEO, announcing that he is working towards some sort of assistance and see if they can help back up FTX and just get them out of this mess. So there is apparently a set of funding and a set of fundraising being set for this week to try and help some clients that have lost some money. It is sad. It is very unfortunate. It's not what you want to see. It's not what you want to hear. However, we are where we are. We got to fix and do with what we can. So crypto, let's go. Right, Bitcoin. As I usually start with dollar for everything else, when I start on cryptos, we have to look at BTC. So, right, Bitcoin is my preferred little index due to its dominance. But I like looking at Bitcoin before I look at anything else. Bitcoin finally broke. I actually deleted it this morning. But the level of support that we had over here around the 18K handle on the weekly time frame, 18.5K, 19K, beautifully broken on the announcement of pretty much Binance liquidating all FTT tokens and just a massive market sell-off. So very, very good to see, in my opinion, as we have been waiting for the sell-off. I just didn't expect it to be caused by FTX. Seriously. But yeah, FTT token down 98% from the highs, something that rallied 9,400%, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I actually watched a video of SBF where he mentioned that, you know, when you are working in the DeFi space, you can generate one token and back it by another, back that pool by another DeFi token. It's just putting money, putting numbers on a screen, which there's no backing by anything. And I think the issue with FTT was that it was backed by its own token. And the minute all this selling came under wrap, it's too late. So FTT currently at $3. A lot of people are asking me and reaching out right now, is it worth a punt to buy FTT now? I think if you believe that, you know, the Sam Bankman-Fried is going to get bailed out, and you believe that investors will give him another chance. I read his heartfelt apology on Twitter. Yeah, look, I feel sorry for him. I know everyone fucks up. Everyone makes mistakes. So I think he can bounce back from this. I'm just not sure if he has the industry's approval, right? Especially with what's happened right now. Will people trust him again? I'm not so sure. So this has triggered a wide crypto sell-off, billions wiped out. You had ETH, massive decline, XRP back at the spiking back into the lows, CRO back below 10 cents, Avalanche still in this little area of interest of mine around the $15 token handle. But yeah, even Solana, massive dive on Solana. We saw Solana yesterday, the lowest point at $11 per Solana. Crazy, right? DeFi, massive ramp on QE. On QE. Majority of these assets haven't lived through a recession. None of them have. Not even Bitcoin. Right? So my only concern is, are they going to survive this recession? And are they going to survive a tightening economy? An economy that is now tightening their policy. All risk assets have suffered off the back of this. So definitely keeping my eyes out before buying the dip. I do think Bitcoin is due further correction. I still see Bitcoin at least at the minimum back to 12,500. For sure, back to 12,500. There is no need for us to try and catch the bottom on this right now. I would just say, if you do want to take advantage of like an intraday opportunity on Bitcoin, you know, I have been calling shorts on Bitcoin for ages. So happy it's finally broken this level of support. Let's go on a higher time frame for a second. 12 hours, perfect. There we go. So we've obviously broken through this level of support now. If we do come back anywhere a little bit higher, I would say back into the 18,500. I would favor some shorts from there. I do think it does warrant a good short. This fib is now complete, right? I had this fib drawn on early on this week. Straight into that 61, straight into the target. We've had that correction. Now, we have heard of rumors that a lot of more flows are going to Binance and to Coinbase right now because of this whole FTX scenario. My only concern is, you know, the market's up right now on the possible this relief rally that FTX is going to get bailed out. If they don't, yeah, expect another wave of mass selling. But that's my view overall. Honestly, get yourself a ledger, right? Get your keys offline. Don't keep things on an exchange. You don't know what can happen, right? You don't know what can happen. So that's my view on Bitcoin. Ethereum, more than likely, back into I would say 900. 900 would be nice, right? Just back into the lows, or even, 850, anywhere between 900 to 850. I favor starting to add. But yeah, we could see a lot lower pricing on Ethereum. Let me just zoom out and show you. If you look at the last bull run that we had, Ethereum dropped 94%. 94%. So if Ethereum had to drop 94% again from the high, you're looking at Ethereum coming back to $300 a token. Do I think it's going to come that low? Maybe not. So yeah, I have this golden zone very similarly to how we had over there pretty much for the whole of 2019 and early 2020, mid 2020. So I expect the same sort of thing to occur until we have the Bitcoin halving in March 2024. So the whole of 2023, I think, and mid 2024 gives you adequate time to sort of load up, wait for the market to bottom, dollar cost average your way into some of these asset classes, and then you can start to pick bottoms. But I think in the current macro environment that we're in, trying to catch the bottom on these assets, it's risky business. It really is risky business. So definitely do trade safe. Please just trade safe. If I can give you one piece of advice, is just manage your risk. That's all I can say. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think cryptos, dollar, obviously a very shocking move on the dollar, right? If you're a dollar bull like me, it is a bit shit to see, no word of a lie. But I just think with the repricing from the Fed, a lot of people got this wrong. You had JP Morgan announcing 8.6% their expectation for today. A lot of people were wrong. So inflation printing at 7.7%, obviously marginally not expected, hence the bigger move that we saw right now. So do me a favor, don't take anything personal. Whatever happens in the market happens. Take it with a pinch of salt, move on. Keep moving, keep moving. There's always another trade around the corner. That's something I love reminding myself. So yeah, for me, Euro obviously hit me a break even on this move. Glad I took some partials. That is something I always do ahead of an event. If I have exposure ahead of an event, I have to reduce that exposure because as we know, anything can happen. But that's it from me, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please note, anything I shared in this is not financial advice and just my personal point of view. If you've watched till now, I appreciate it. Do drop me a thumbs up. Do subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.